Starting things off for me today is INFJ males may struggle with issues of self worth. INFJs are known for their deep insight into the human condition, as well as their compassion and empathy for others. However, INFJ males often fail to recognize their own value, due in part to a difficult childhood. Because INFJs are highly sensitive, they are often ridiculed or rejected by those around them. As a result, INFJ males often struggle to find their place in the world. Most INFJ males can't live their life without avoiding the pain of being told to man up,
Maybe
or other phrases that
maybe
have
I'm not
their feelings
one,
shamed.
but
These
from what I've been told by other people, I didn't even know about personality types. To be honest with you, didn't know until people started saying such, claiming such. After obviously psychoanalyzation, psychoanalyzing me. Yes, I'm talking about me. Yeah, why not? Why the fuck not? Uh, I'm talking about me, yeah. And my stance on this and my perspective on things. This would be great. It would be ideal, wouldn't it, if people understood this. I honestly don't know if I'm an INFJ or not, right? But this is what I've been told by people. And consider this. I've been told this of people who, not just like by any old tramp, you know, that I've randomly met. If people do actually look at this website of which I'm compiling, and a lot of stuff is not on there yet, but there are some things on there which more than indicate this. They literally tell me, yeah. And these are the emails from people like Christina Eisenhower and the comments and stuff that she made. This is my favourite person of this group of people of whom I revealed or exposed, yeah. My favourite, yes, Christina Eisenhower, yeah. Because she was actually, and still is, she has been really understanding and nice to me, I guess. Now, people, everyone likes people being nice to them, yeah? But I was so used or used to people not purposefully going out their way to misunderstand when things are clear in front of them, yeah? And if people look on this website of mine, operationhedgehog.wordpress.com, and have a look under the section hush mail, emails, and other comments from concerned insiders, you'll see, I mean, no, it's just tip of the iceberg, really, what I put up. But enough, anyway, to gather that I'm not making shit up. And if I was, that would be very, very dodgy. To the point where I could well get put in prison, yeah? Now, if only these so-called friends of mine were not friends anymore. No, certainly not. If only that they've actually unsubscribed from this channel because too much is revealed, and their way of dealing with this is just to toss it away and throw it under the carpet, or just totally disconnect Now, I know that I've been dealing with a lot of different people of different personality types, yeah, and that the narcissistic personality type I've found the most blatantly obvious and the most destructive and the most tiresome. Yet I've identified narcissistic personality traits in myself and dealt with them accordingly, or it's called shadow work, yeah. And this is what I wanted my friends to do too, rather than look at the other person and point fingers. Have a little look at themselves, and they would love to say that that's all I do is look at other people, but what they do not consider is that all I've done is look at myself and adjusted accordingly to an evolutionary path of which evolves and improves itself, yeah, bit by bit. And many people recognize this, but it's the people who really do not want to change their perception of reality are the most dangerous, because they still see what they've seen in the first place, which is possibly not that much about another person, yeah, and they've actually made shit up to cling on to that perception of reality. So they've not either any awareness that people can evolve, you know, throughout their life, especially when they're. I was naturally in a position where I kind of had to evolve for the better, because if I didn't, I'd be dead, right? Now, these so-called friends of mine are quick to bring up old shit, to point fingers, and really just this is pretty shallow what they do, yeah. This is why they're not friends anymore, yeah. And they can't really grasp that anyone can move on through the process of improving themselves. They can't grasp that because they've never done it themselves. Their version of improving oneself is to become more sneaky or disconnected, secretive, snide, and not very good. Really, that's it. And they have gone to such a point. They've actually done it to such a point where not only did they physically attack me, which basically has enabled me to not be at all worried with using them as prime examples of such destructive personality types, yeah. And these are personality types which they thought would never be seen or never identified. They saw it as their strength to be of such, yeah. Now, it was interesting with this INFJ, because I didn't know what it was. Yeah. And I kind of I've looked into the other ones as well. There's quite a few of them, and I did the test, that thingy test. I forgot the name for it now, but it does kind of basically, they're quite right. These people who, like Christina Eisenhower and other people who've knew a lot, or still know a lot more about this, or personality types in general. It kind of rings true to say, and even if I was very cautious about not doing it honestly, yeah, this test, and it does indicate that I'm an INFJ. Now with that gnosis, I've still gone against some of the traits of an INFJ. For instance, I've kind of let a lot out, as in my personal information, which I've felt the need to do in order to get things across to people. So I've sort of contradicted the INFJ as well, or the claim that I'm an INFJ through doing what I've done. And that's like making YouTube videos. To some people it could be wacky or way out or insane and bonkers, but to other people they're real. They're not bullshit, and they're not done for anything as the shallow people in this world think they're done for. And that's just like really shallow things, which kind of did offend me. They just jumped to these shallow conclusions of why I was doing these films, and I was just like, I thought that you were a little bit more deeper than that. Is that your conclusion? And of course these people were once close to me, as in considered friends, and that how they could so easily just arrive and conclude on their shallow assumptions as solid, as a solidarity, as like that's it. Like, I'm doing this for attention seeking, and just really shit things, which are totally just really on the other end of the scale of why I was doing these videos in the first place. And these so-called friends of mine really did their best. They're actually top end examples of certain personality types, and also, I mean, you can't get any better than these examples of how much a certain personality type can be so sneaky and also how much that they believe their own shit, like their own assumptions, for instance, about a person. So they're quick to say that I'm judgmental and stuff, but they were the judgmental ones in the first place by just working off their assumptions about a person or why someone's doing something, and just using that as their solid conclusion, and it's wrecked a lot of things. And because they're so committed to their ignorance, to maintaining this perception of reality which they have, and just want to hold on to, even when it's just disintegrating, dissolving right in front of them. not just through my exposure of them, because what they did, they exposed themselves, basically, up to a point where it's ridiculous. Like, for instance, I have to remind people about this again. So-called friends attacking a person, physically attacking them, not only psychologically harming a person through talking behind their back. I know it sounds petty, but this is what happened as well. Kind of priming everyone, or it's called smear campaign. Sort of putting it into anyone else's head around them that this person they have dislike for deep down, like me. They would already have people primed around them, like, for instance, their wife or their girlfriend or their partner or friends, already kind of primed with a smear campaign of which they conducted. Now this gives them the notion that they're intelligent, that they're clever when they do this. Yeah. Now this is a pattern, as I've said many times, that people can't really remember or have ignored. That I've always had this. It's kind of to piss people off, but it's kind of like I'm talking like I'm bigging myself up. But I've always recognised patterns. Yeah, these patterns come in all different forms. Not only obviously visual patterns, but patterns of thought and speech. Everything really. I recognise patterns in everything. And I recognise patterns which are not yet completed even. But there's this ongoing thing. And I try and, when I recognise that the pattern that I'm seeing is possibly, of worth to recognise, for anyone else to recognise, not for them not to fall into certain traps, really. So when I was trying to explain this to people, how people would see it as me, just really shallow, really. They wouldn't see it as beneficial to them, or they would just think shallow things, like I was trying to be clever or something. Like I said, I'm not quite sure, really. All I was doing is trying to better people, and they took this totally the wrong way, to the point where they attacked me. Yeah. And that has to be brought up, that point of attack, of physical attack, assault on someone, and the excuses given to the other people around of why this happened. And like I said, I thought that these people were somewhat intelligent. I mean, one of the main people of this attack actually claims to themselves and to others that they're the most intelligent person that they've ever met, right? And it's not just me that have heard this come out of their rancid mouths. It's other people too, so it's not like I'm just making shit up, yeah. And that they've done it to such a ludicrous, drawn-out extent that they are the prime examples of such personality type that does nothing but destroy shit. And they would be quick to say that I'm destroying shit. But I might well be. But I'm destroying their shitty self-delusion, their bubble, of which they desperately want to cling on to. And this bubble has been exposed proper. It's because they've not done the shadow work or actually looked at themselves properly. That it goes and is still very much unnoticed by them. And they become ridiculous. It's like they become caricatures almost. It's like cartoon of this type of person, because they purposefully have gone out of their way to ignore ignore anything about what could be perceived by another person in them, and they're nothing but that. So their stance or their perception of reality is very limited, and they don't like to hear this because obviously they think that they have the most massive, colossal mind expanse in the world. You know, they think that they know everything, and some of these people have good skills, some of them don't. And I said, like, it's not really down to a person's skill in anything, really, of which is considered like worth. So someone could be an excellent artist or an excellent communicator, an excellent chef, anything, really. An excellent fighter, an excellent person at whatever, say a sport or something, which could have entitled them to be a little bit cocky, or to have this sort of sense of entitlement, to have this idea that they're the best, and they probably might well be the best at a certain thing which they do. And there's nothing much wrong with that, but when it gets to a point where it's that only, that they entitle themselves with stifling anyone else's progress, which may well be in a field that they don't work in, so, or they have no clue of, and because of that, it scares them, and they will destroy someone else's progress in something, even if it doesn't even concern them. This is what's happened, yeah. And some people will have to be named because they were named all along. They named themselves, they chose themselves, and they chose to ignore a lot of stuff, which would be of great benefit to them and to the larger picture, or the world at large, should we say. And of course they were quite close to me at one point, but decided to go the other way, and in doing so have really excelled at showing what they are. Yeah. Now they can't look at this website that I've done, or continuing to upload stuff to, from solid evidence from the people who I initially caught out, and everything else, really. It's like, this is what I found strange. It's like, it's not that difficult. In fact, people who say don't know me, I've never known me personally, yet I've seen what I've been doing, and I kind of had a little look at the website even. They understand. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon or anything quantum physicist to understand this. And this is what I found, past tense, frustrating. And this is why I did these quite mental videos where I did show my emotions. There was more frustration than anything, because I was frustrated with people online who were talking about truth, yeah, or seemed to be the front end of truth speakers out there. How much that they could ignore some real vital discoveries when it came to the nature of reality, and how much certain people, not necessarily governmental people, but people could mould and sculpt other people's way of thinking. I really did identify this and exposed it. And I could have done with my so-called friends actually recognising it too, because it wasn't difficult for them to. Yet they purposely didn't. And this does boil down to, I'll be blunt here, it boils down to a sense of pride or ego in a person, that they will rather a person like myself who is bringing up such truth, rather that they are terminated than for them to actually acknowledge what another person is saying to be of some worth and truth, of which they did their best to try and thwart, stifle, hide, and everything was like real negative behaviours. And I thought to myself, well, it's good training, because if these people, these so-called friends of mine, can't get this, then it means that most of the world won't be able to get it. And it's up until the point where my friends actually realise what I'm doing, then the world at large will too. And I literally told them this, and they found it funny that they had they must have seen it as like a power over me by purposefully not kind of seeing me worked up. It kind of amused them. It obviously amused other people too, up to a point where the people who I initially caught out, these Dianetic counsellors, people who've done some training in dark psychology or some levels, right? And they're ex-people, yeah. I don't have to go into too much detail about who these people are, yeah, because it's all explained on my website. I'll put the link below. Actually, to the email page, yeah, which I'm going to update. I know quite a few links on the actual site are no longer working because I've clicked onto them. They're no longer there, you know. So, but I'm going to have to update that myself. I mean, it's enough is there though to provide enough information for people to fully understand. And like I said, if I was making all this up and really, if this was made up, one thing, why would I do that? Surely just not for attention, unless you're really shallow. I think that's the case. Also, it would get me into a lot of trouble, yeah, a fucking lot of trouble. So, this is where it comes to the point where even the most imbecilic, stupid twat out there can understand. Yet, people that claim to be intellectuals or think that they are, even I mean, I could go so far to say spiritual, you know, or spiritually aware people, whether spirits exist or not, doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. It does literally boil down to people's own belief, and this includes their delusion, their deluded belief of how intelligent that they are, or how intelligent they are over the next person, or someone else. You know, like I said, one of these people actually says in front of people, right in front of people, "I'm the most intelligent person I've ever met," and no one batters an eyelid. I mean, I did question. I said, "What happens when you meet someone who's more intelligent, but you don't like them, do you?" And they went, "No, I don't bother with them." So like, there's an honesty here going on, but that honesty really does underline their deluded sense and their restricted mindset. Yeah. Now, what time? 31 minutes. Okay, I'm going to come back to with another video to wrap this up in a way that people will find difficult to deny. Yeah. Now, I know my friends are not going to look at this video because they can't. Well, my so-called friends. That's the reason why they're not friends. But there are people out there who I've never met and who I'm going to meet before I die, who fully understand, who have full appreciation of what I'm doing and what I've done. As I said, it got to the point where even the people who I initially caught out backed me up, as in, yeah, they confirmed to other people who could be bothered to look of my findings, yeah. Kind of like to blame shift, yeah, but also to put a resolution there that anyone can see. I've seen it. I know, and it's there. It's just people who have such ignorant mindset who are the ones who lose out. Okay.